Hello, everyone. So, I've been saying for a long time, maybe a year now, that I wanted to start a YouTube channel and that I really wanted to show up there because it makes sense. It's just a place where you can go and have more control over the content you're consuming in a world where we are just spoon fed so much content. And so I've been saying it and just been kicking the can down the road because I can't find the time, or it just isn't the right time, or I don't want to show up until I can show up consistently. And you know what? 2026, it's a new year, and it is time to just show up imperfectly. And that's what I want to talk about today, is really the struggle with perfectionism and everything connected to it. So you may already be aware or you might not be aware, but a lot of people use that term lightly, like, oh, I'm just a perfectionist, or oh, yeah, um, I struggle with perfectionism. But it, when you do struggle with perfection or wanting things to be perfect, it can sabotage everything else in your life. So, what I mean by that, it's connected to a few different things. And as I go into depth on this, I'll probably talk about it multiple times because it is something that seeps into so many of our lives. But perfectionism, it actually stems from people pleasing. So when you're a kid and you really want to please your parents and, you know, like you just don't want to get it wrong, you want to get everything right, you start this pattern of people pleasing and wanting to make sure it's perfect so that you don't upset anybody, which at surface value is not a bad thing, right? We want our kids to do what we ask them to do, and we really would love for them to be perfect where we're not complaining about them. But ultimately, it's creating a pattern within yourself where you're no longer reflecting how you truly are. You're just showing up where you know you can show up perfect. But like, not everything is going to be perfect all the time. We're not able to be perfect all the time. Um, that's just not how life goes. You don't come out of the womb perfect. Like, you have to try things, you have to learn, you have to develop the skills. And this over time develops into a bigger thing. So, as you struggle with perfectionism and you start to not show up in certain things that you may want to do because it's just not the right time, it's not perfect. Oh, I can't get it perfect because I don't really know how to do it. And the only way you gain the skill is by doing it. So it becomes this double-edged sword where you're not doing it because it's not perfect, but you want to do it. And so it's like eating at you and becomes a vicious cycle. Well, I hate to break it to you. The only way to heal perfectionism is to do it. That's the only way. You have to accept that there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be a messy middle, there's going to be things that you don't do perfectly, and that is okay. It's 100% okay. And this is something that I struggled with from childhood, all the way into adulthood. Still, sometimes I struggle with it, even today. Look, I wanted to start a YouTube channel for a year, and I haven't even recorded anything because it hasn't been the perfect time or perfect lighting or perfect moment, yada, yada. So if you have this struggle, it's something that you'll struggle with forever. But that doesn't mean that you just give up and say, oh, whatever, it's just something I have to deal with. It means that you have to grow. Um, you have to be mindful of it. You have to just start to reflect upon it and start to take steps. And like I always tell people, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Something might seem like too big to conquer, too difficult to do, too hard to handle, But if you start with one step and then the next step and then the next step and the next step, before you know it, you've already made progress. So back to a great way to start combating when you feel like you're having trouble with perfectionism is trying something new. Go to a restaurant and you always order the same thing. No, next time, try something new. You go get coffee and you're scared to try something different because you don't want to spend $7 if you don't like it, yada, yada. No, try something new. The worst that can happen is that you don't like it. And if you don't, you learn something. That's it. If you are trying a new task and you keep putting it off because it seems too hard and you just don't know how to do it perfectly yet, remember, kids have to learn to walk. Do they stand up and just walk without wobbling? No. They toddle, they fall down, they get up again and try again. It's the same thing like that. So if you don't know how to do something, it's okay to be messy. It's okay to struggle and to try something new. And honestly, if the reason you're not showing up because it can't be perfect is because you want to please everyone, I promise you, they don't care as much as you think they do. And I'm not saying this from a bad place, from the bottom of my heart. Like, the only one that really matters and cares the most about you is you. Everybody else is busy with their own lives, their own things, their own chaos, their own day-to-day happenings. And if they even notice and say something about it, like, they're going to forget about it in 5 minutes anyways. So if it's stopping you because you're afraid of what Joe down the street is going to say, who really cares? Because I promise you, they won't remember it anyways, and it won't even matter. And so don't dim your light or what you want to do or stop yourself because you're afraid of the judgment of others, because you feel like you can't show up perfectly, because not everything is curated like the perfect Instagram you see. So, with all that being said, this is just the thoughts I was having that I wanted to share with you today. I've been mulling over them a long time. And honestly, I've been on a healing journey of perfectionism for probably, I don't even know how old I am anymore, probably 18, 20 years. It's been a while that I've really tried to start being mindful and heal. And the first step is taking action. That's the first step. The next step is accepting that it's going to be messy, and that is okay. And acknowledging that others around you don't really care. Don't worry about pleasing everybody because you never will please everyone. You just won't. So that's my lesson for today. I am Olivia, and I also have my branding as Her Glow and Grow. You can find me on herglowandgrow.com. You can find me at Instagram and on Threads under my name. I would love for you to follow. Oh, I'm also on Pinterest too. I would love for you to follow. I'd love for you to carry on in the journey. I really want to connect with women who struggle with perfectionism, want more in their lives, feel like they haven't gotten started because not everything is perfect and they're not really sure where to start. They're multi-passionate and they just are just stuck at the beginning. That is all. So I'm here to share my journey. I want to connect with you. If you would like to connect with me, you can find me on my website, herglowandgrow.com. And yeah, so that's my reflection for the day. I hope you have a good one.